All right, we're going to pick up where we left off earlier this week. We finished our conversation talking about energy flow from an energy pyramid through an energy pyramid, what that does, and that's where we're going to pick up now. And then at the end, we'll end with symbiosis. So let's get started. The energy pyramid. The goal of the energy pyramid is to show energy flow, how much energy is moved up from one of these levels to the next. Now, something I did not call earlier this week was a trophic level. Each of these levels, is a trophic level. So go and write that down. TROPHIC, trophic. Each trophic level uses up the vast majority of the energy that it accumulates. So for plants, it goes through photosynthesis. These grasses in the picture go through photosynthesis, and they use up around 95%. 90% of what they get. Their goal is not to feed the prairie dogs. Their goal is to continue living, and it requires a lot of energy. So 90% of it is used up. 10% of it, that is stored energy, when it gets eaten by something else, that it gets moved up to the next level. So these prairie dogs take about 10% of the energy that these plants have used. And the same thing, they use about 90% of it for things like body heat and moving around and digestion and all kind of different things. Their metabolism uses up 90% of their energy that they consume. But so 10% moves up to the coyote. So you see this pattern of 10% being moved up, 90%. 90% being used up and 10% moving up to the next level. So if we started off with 10,000 calories down here at the bottom, with plants, that's a lot of calories, 10,000 calories. It would use up 90% of that. 10% would move up. So that's 10,000 at the bottom. The next step, only about 1,000 would move up to the next step. From there, 100, which is 10%, 100 would move up to the next step. And by the time it got up here to the vulture, that would be 10 calories. It started out as 10,000 calories. Only 10 calories get sent up to the top. That is a lot of you. It looks like it's being inefficient, but what's actually happening is all these different organisms are using those calories to live, and it takes a lot. So, excuse me, let me go back. So that's the energy pyramid, the rule of 10. Make sure you have that down if you didn't already write this down in your notes earlier this week. And make sure you add trophic level. Think of autotroph or heterotroph, a trophic level, TROPHIC, TROPHIC. Make sure you write that down. All right, the very last slide we talked about on Friday was energy in an ecosystem flows while matter in an ecosystem cycles. So you are made of atoms that have been reused and recycled for a long time. The nitrogen and carbon and all the little micronutrients that you eat every day have been used up by some other organism in the past. So somebody, an animal that was walking through a field and defecated, pooped in the field, and somebody grew strawberries on that. When you eat that strawberry, you're eating decomposed poop that has been turned into, just a little bit of it has been turned into a strawberry. And so when you eat it, you're not eating poop, but you're eating the same stuff that poop was made of. So not only are we made of things like stars and stuff like that, we're also made more recently atoms that were part of another living organism or maybe went through another organism. So the matter cycles. It goes around and around and around. When we pass away, when we die, we'll turn back into dirt. Some organism will decompose us and we will turn into dirt, and then we will be used up by another organism and we'll turn into something else. The matter, the things that make us up, will be recycled. Energy in an ecosystem, however, flows. It starts with the sun, it goes to a producer, and then it goes to a bunch of several consumers. When it gets to the very end of the line, a very large apex predator, which is the top of the food chain, like a bear or a wolf or a human, or maybe into a scavenger like a buzzard or worms. Things can continue to eat those, but remember, every step of the way, 90% of the energy is being used up. So that energy is not cycling. That plant, those producers never get the energy back. The producers only get energy from the sun. So eventually that energy is used up and it's lost. So again, energy in an ecosystem, it flows. It goes through, it has a beginning in the sun and it ends somewhere with the decomposer. It ends. So it's a flow, start to finish. While matter in an ecosystem, it continues to cycle over and over and over. And this is just with ecology. We talked about before that, energy is never created and never destroyed, but the usefulness to humans, to us, in the form of sugar, there is a beginning and there is an end. So, and this is also a review. We talked about this last week, I believe, habitat. So your habitat is where you live. And anything you see in bold or numbered, like you see 16A, 16B, this is from previous years. These are notes that you need to write down. I would encourage you to try to use in your own words, but it's up to you. So an organism's habitat is the environment in which it lives. So your habitat would be the school, or it would be your house, or where you go during the day. All those are examples of habitat. Your niche is how you fit into your environment. How you eat, where you live, what you do, like all that. So in your family, you may wash dishes or cut the grass, or help take care of your brothers and sisters, or maybe you'll get this in the next slide. Maybe you're kind of a parasite. Maybe you you don't give to your family. Maybe you kind of take from your family. But that is your niche. That is how you fit into your family. You're probably not the person that makes all the money. You're probably not the person that drives everyone around. But you do have a niche. You have a niche with your friends, and so do animals. Animals have niches with the environment that they're around. So we talked about how an owl and a hawk have extremely similar niches, but they go about them in different ways, because like an owl is typically nocturnal, whereas a hawk is normally diurnal. A hawk comes out during the day, and an owl comes out during the night, even though they're both apex predators, even though they're very similar organisms. They fill a different role in their environment. Predator prey. You guys probably know what this is. Predator prey. A predator. Think about an example of a predator and an example of something that it eats. That would be its prey. So you see on National Geographic, Nat Geo, you turn it on, you see this lion in the Serengeti, or in the Kalahari, or a cheetah or something like that. I'm sorry, not the Kalahari. You see these animals that are these cats that are running after another animal. That is the predator. The cat is the predator. The prey is the gazelle, or it is the animal that the predator is about to eat. So predator is the organism that is eating the other one. So it is the thief that is stealing the energy from the other organism. The gazelle did not spend all of its life thinking, I'm going to grow up one day and be eaten by a lion or a cheetah or a human. But that is what happened. Remember, about 10% of it's going to move up to the next trophic level. So in this example, I said fish would be the prey, and alligator would be the predator. And oftentimes, as a predator, a predator can also become a prey. So the snake is a predator to the mouse, but to the hawk, the snake is a prey. We change roles. We feel pretty confident in our houses against animals, but if we were to walk out into Alaska or swim out into the deep ocean where there might be animals that want to eat us, we quickly realize that we are potentially prey. We're not always predators. So kind of the same, you've heard, there's always somebody that can beat you up, or somebody that's always better than you at something. There's always something that can eat you. So most predators are also prey to something else. And you can think back to the food web for some examples. Last slide. This is a slide that's pretty heavy on videos. So you can see symbiosis, mutualism, commensalism, parasitism. Those last three are examples of symbiosis. So you can look on the PowerPoint. You can't click it in the video, but look at these links. There's a lot of different links here, a lot of videos. Some of them are more interesting than others, but all of them will help you get an idea of what each of these things are. So symbiosis is a long-term relationship, a close long-term relationship between two or more organisms. So predator-prey is not a type of symbiosis. That is not a type of symbiosis. Symbiosis is a long-term relationship. A lion and a gazelle do not spend a whole lot of time together. A lion and a gazelle have a short-term relationship. Mutualism is when they're both helped. Commensalism is when one is helped and one is unaffected. And parasitism is when one is helped and one is harmed. So look at these definitions, watch some videos, and take the notes.